everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I know I am in a different setup than usual. I'm kind of trying out different places in my apartment to see where I do want to film on the regular. So if this lighting is just not good, then just let me know and we'll try a different location. So today what I'm going to be talking about are makeup brushes. And I know when I first got into makeup, I use like the sponge applicator that came with like the CoverGirl palettes, and I would just use that, and those work. But I must say, when I started using brushes, my makeup game totally changed, and I was very intimidated when I started looking for brushes. I remember it was like after high school, going into college, and like looking online at Amazon at different brush sets, because I'd be watching girls on YouTube and they're using brush sets from Sigma, from MAC. Those are like the two highest ones that I heard of, and I looked on their website and they're expensive, and like I was working at Payless at the time and not making great money, so I tried to find the cheapest brushes I could find, and I found cheap brushes on Amazon, got them for Christmas, and while I do have a couple in my set that I still use, there's about and when I say a couple, I really mean just like two. And the other brushes were just not good. They were super rough, and you could tell they were like this like plastic hair, and it hurt when I would apply makeup, so I stopped using them. So when I finally was getting into really doing my makeup, I decided, you know, I'm gonna go to Ulta and look at brushes. And on YouTube I was watching the Pixie Woo sisters, and they made their own brush line, and their brush line sounded amazing. It was affordable. When I went to Ulta, they had these like perfect sets. Like there was a face set, an eye set, like I think there was like a basics. Like they have really good combinations of brushes. So I picked up a couple of those, and that's when I was like, wow, brushes changed up how the way I apply makeup, and I love it. So I want to go over today with you the basic brushes that I think you do need in your set. And I have different brands. One is from that cheap set from Amazon, but which I got lucky with a couple of them. But I totally recommend going to Ulta and getting like the Real Technique brushes. Also, e.l.f. at Target has really good brushes too, and they're super cheap. And I've tried a couple, but I haven't tried all of them. I plan on trying all of them though, because they are a really good price, and I've heard nothing but good things about them. So right now I'm going to go over brushes that you want to make sure you have in your set, and they're good beginning brushes. They're affordable, and you can find them very easily at Ulta. So for the face, one brush that I definitely recommend everyone has is a foundation brush. This is by Real Techniques by Samantha Chapman, and it's called the buffing brush. And what it is just like a flat, dense brush. And I've had this for, I want to say about 3 years, and it's still in great condition. It doesn't shed at all. And when I say shed, I mean like the fibers like fall out, because I know the cheap brush set that I got from Amazon, oh my gosh, like I would like put on makeup and you just see like these hairs all over me. It was not good, and it got very annoying having to pick them off. So these don't shed at all. And this one's really dense, so you can just put foundation right on it and then start applying it. You can stipple with this, or you can buff it in. It's really great for buffing. It blends everything in so you don't like see streaks of it. And usually I put my foundation in my hand, dip it in there, and then put it on. Sometimes I put it directly on, but it could get like really deep in there. And these are really good to wash and clean. Nothing happens to them. They stay really good. They're really good quality. And they're really good price. I think I got a set, I think it had like 4 or 5 brushes in it for like $16 or $20. And that's a really good price, because at MAC, I know like a brush like this alone would probably be $20. So it's a really great brush. I love it. It's super soft, and it hasn't shed at all. And it's really good quality. I really like the handle. So you definitely need a foundation brush in your set. Next, you need a powder brush to set that foundation, and this is also by Real Techniques. It is called, oh, the name wore off because I've had it so long, but it's called, I believe this is a multitasking brush. So you can use this brush for setting with powder. You can use it for like a contour or blush. Yeah, and it's really fluffy, so it's really great for powder. It's pretty round, it's pretty big, and I love it for powder because it just blends it all in, makes it look flawless, and again, never sheds, easy to wash, great brush. You need one of these brushes, a big fluffy brush to set your foundation after using that first brush. So this is great. Next, I love this brush. This is a brush that I use for my contour mostly, and sometimes blush and highlight. This is a Real Techniques brush, and it's called the contour brush, and it's exactly perfect for that. It is rounded like a dome, and it is fluffy, so it blends really well, and it fits perfectly in my cheekbones with bronzer. So I definitely recommend getting a brush like this. Any fluffy brush that's smaller, and yeah, it's just fluffy and it's domed, so it fits perfectly in the cheekbone area, and then doing for like blush, blending it out. The fluffy brushes will be very helpful for blending out blushes and foundations and stuff like that. So definitely get the fluffy brush, and I absolutely love this one. Again, doesn't shed, easy to wash. This is a brush I got from Tarte. I believe it came in a set. Had it for a few years now. This one never sheds, and it is so soft, like amazingly soft. When I remember the first time using it being like, oh. And I like this brush. It's a little different than the Real Technique brushes because it is denser and it is flat. I do like this a lot for blush. It gets more like concentrated area. And then it also is pretty good at blending. I do like the fluffier one better for blending, but this one does a really good job. I just can't get over how soft it is. So this isn't really essential, but I've fallen in love with a brush like this. Dense, flat, kind of like a buffing brush. I've never really used this one for liquid foundation. I kind of just stick liquid foundation on this brush, and I keep this one dry for like my blushes and stuff. So I think that's why I use both of them so much, because they're both like buffing brushes, but this one gets the wet products and this one gets the powder products. So yeah, having two of kind of like the same style brush is pretty good too. I do recommend doing that for that reason. And those are basically really good face brushes, like the basics that will change your life. Moving on to eyes. You're definitely going to want to get like a flat brush. This will be great for packing on the color onto your lid. And then it is slightly fluffy, but it is rather dense, and it can like slightly like smoke out the bottom lash line or blend, but there's a better brush that I have for blending. But I love this brush for just packing on the color onto your lid. This I got from that cheap set, I think. Actually, no, this is an e.l.f. brush, and yeah, it's amazing. It's super soft, pretty dense, it's pointed, so it's rather thin, but then it goes flat like that. So it's great for getting like right where you want it and packing on that color. So definitely recommend like a flat brush that you can pack on lid color with. The next brush is a Real Technique brush. This one is called the Domed Shadow Brush. So it's fluffy, so it's good for blending out like crease colors, and because it's domed, it fits in your crease really well. Like how this one's domed, fits in your cheekbone area really well to contour that out, and this contours out your eyes amazing because of that dome shape. It is super fluffy. Sorry, I haven't cleaned these. I need to clean them actually today. It's really fluffy and soft, and it's great just placing that color in the crease and then blending it out and then smoking it out. Definitely recommend getting a dome brush that can fit in your crease. It's awesome. Next brush is you want a big fluffy brush, and this, I'm not quite sure what I got. It might be an e.l.f. brush. It's just a really big fluffy brush, like very, what would you call it? Not movable, I don't know if that's a word, but I usually try and keep this pretty clean. I might put like the transition color, which when I say transition color, I say like if you're doing like a dark smoky eye, so you have dark on the lid, like say you do black on the lid. You want to have like a tan, taupey color. It's kind of like a contour color right above that to blend it out into your upper eyelid. to your highlight shade. It just flows better when you do that, and this is great for that. Just put a little bit of that transition color on there and then blend it out. It will blend out really well. Otherwise, I would keep it clean and just blend out my colors. Using a clean brush to blend is highly recommended, so I really do recommend getting a big fluffy brush. Pretty sure this was like $1 from e.l.f. and it is so soft and it never sheds. It really does not ever shed, and I've washed it and it came back fine. So definitely recommend getting one of these. So those are the 3 basic like eye brushes. So packing on the color to the lid, crease color, blending. Essential. And even with the tip of this one, I can go the lower lash line and put on that line of like a dark color to just emphasize my lower lash line. And then for eyebrows, you can get an angled brush like this. This one's actually, I believe, from that cheap set. This is one of the 2 that I liked. This one is a extremely dense, kind of rough, which I'm not really a fan of, but it is really dense angled brush, and I use this for my eyebrows. And it's really good because it brushes the hairs to go the right way while applying the color to my brow. So I do like this brush, but I don't use it every day because I do have an alternative that I actually do like. But this is a great brush. You want to have an angled brush for your brows. It just makes it easier, especially if you want to get like really sharp lines in your brows. I'm not really one to get sharp lines, but some people do like that, so I really recommend you get a really stiff angled brush to do that. I like my brows to look a little different, not so sharp and like crisp. So I use this brush, and it's actually a really dense, and it has a curve to it. It's a really dense brush, and I use the e.l.f. brow gel and powder, and I put it on this. It's super stiff, so you can really get your eyebrows, and I make the like this part on like really crisp, but then I really like to just like fluff this in the front, and it's good for that, to make it look a little bit more natural, because that's the type of brow I like to go for. Doesn't matter what type of brow you want. If you want a more crisp, precise brow, get a stiff angled brush. Otherwise, you can just get a stiff brush like this. I used this one day because I couldn't find that brush, and I was like, wow, this works really well. So definitely recommend getting a good brow brush. And that is it. Those are like the basic brushes you want to get when you're starting to get brushes for your makeup. Thank you so much for watching my recommendations for brushes.